and welcome back to the podcast.
I'm Courtney.
And I am Kristen.
This is Are You Triggered Yet?
And we hope you're having a lovely day, whatever day it is, wherever you are.
I really thought you were going to say, and we hope you are triggered.
I've said that so many times. I feel like it's so last year.
It's so 2022, guys.
Yeah. Triggers are so last season.
Yeah, so what are we going to change our name to then? Are you enlightened yet? Eh?
Ew.
Are you aligned yet?
Are you parasite free yet?
We don't talk about parasite cleanses on this podcast. I'm just kidding. I just
This
don't
is not a health podcast.
Totally could be. I just have no desire to do a lymphatic. I was going to say lymphatic drainage. I love doing those. I don't want to do a parasite cleanse. It doesn't sound fun. Any of those, you know, when they talk about like some like healing that they do and there's purging involved. I don't know how I feel about that. I
mean, there is ways to do it where you don't have all of the symptoms, like where they're not, like there's different people that have protocol that you can follow for $2,500.
Is that all?
Yeah, but there's a lot to a parasite cleanse. In case you guys are wondering, you have to heal your gut first. It's first step. And then after that, you have to do a heavy metal detox because parasites actually use heavy metals as armor to protect themselves from protocols because they're smart. And then after the heavy metal detox, you do the parasite cleanse. And then after that, you kind of restore and repair your body from all of that. And that is the process of at least 6 months, probably longer.
Good Lord.
It's a long process.
So you were describing to me about how the parasites like hold on to the heavy metal. It's like if they're like holding on to the heavy metal. So if you didn't do the heavy metal detox, when you do the parasite cleanse, they're just like hanging out there. They're
like, haha, I've got my
They're like
shield
anchored in on this heavy metal that's in your body because guaranteed we all have heavy metal in our bodies. Mm-hmm. And they're not going to get flushed out. So what's the point of even doing the parasite cleanse if you're not going to do that? So we were talking about this yesterday, and we were like wondering if maybe helping your natural microbiome, like the bacteria in your gut, if you were to heal that, like what you mentioned you want to do first, but if you were to heal that, would that already like
make the environment less?
Would you feel less of the symptoms of the parasites in your system because your body is like fighting them off better because it's stronger?
Mm-hmm.
So
it would make an environment that's less friendly for
the parasites.
For parasites and fungus and bacteria, like candida and all that.
So I have another question though. So if you were to do a parasite cleanse, but little parasites are everywhere in our environment, what's the point of doing it if you're just going to end up with the parasites back in there?
I think that it's after you do like the full protocol, I think it's something that you would do kind of as routine every so often, but not overdoing it. And then when you do it over again, you're not going to have to go through the long, lengthy process. And I'm sure your gut, if you just maintain a healthy way of living, it will stay healthier, and then your body will be able to, prevent the parasites from taking over your body. And what else was I going to say? No, like I've never done a parasite cleanse, so I have a whole life long, who knows, I always walk barefoot. I am around animals all the time, gardening without gloves, like gardening, plants. If you don't wash your fruit and vegetables out of your own garden, like obviously from the grocery store, wash that shit, but yeah. Parasites are everywhere. Water, you can't avoid them. I think it's just words are not coming easily today. Proactive. Be proactive and not let it build up so much.
I think it's cool to be aware of. Like, definitely don't need to like freak out about it or anything.
No, 100%. And don't get all weirded out that there's little nasty ass.
Literally, we're made up of bacteria anyway, so.
We could do a whole entire podcast on heavy metals and parasites.
What's your favorite band? A heavy metal band.
I know, I'm trying to think if I even have one. I don't know. Well, that was useful. So today's podcast, we
talked a lot about emotions, manifestation.
And not just your typical manifestation stuff. Like, it was really, like, honestly, how manifestation has been expanding for us in 2023.
Yeah, it's an interesting journey when you start learning about manifestation, because you learn all, like, the basics, like, the steps on how to manifest. And then once you've done a lot of healing, it becomes, like, part of your daily life, but it's more than just...
It's a way of living.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Coming back to a center of positive emotions and that's not just like, seeing the positivity. It's being able to feel all the range of emotions, but coming back to that baseline of higher vibration.
Yeah,
and love.
Yeah, exactly. And we have the challenging times in our lives where, things get hard. Things are rough. And if we fall back into that, like, we're going to fall back into old patterns all the time.
It's human nature.
But every time we get an opportunity to respond differently, we get an opportunity to be different. So every time that pattern shows up, you yourself are different, so it's not going to be the same. So we can be like, oh no, here I am again. Mm-hmm. But it's not. It's completely different. And I've been there. I've been there lots of times. So, but you just gotta, I don't know, believe that you can be different and that you are different already because you see the pattern, first of all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I can go on and on, but I feel like
it's the intro, so like...
We talked about a lot more in the episode, but there's probably going to be a lot more episodes where we dive into this because it's an ever-evolving...
Yeah, exactly. And things that we integrate different things. We learn different things, different ways of... I don't know how else to put this.
And just sharing things as we're experiencing and how we're applying manifestation to our own lives and how
It's my favorite part.
Yeah, how we process the emotions that come up for us and all.
There's a lot of them, FYI. Speaking of, have you ever had... I'll make this short because I know this is the intro. But, like, have you ever had an emotion and you're just like, no, I choose not to feel it today, then instantly it's gone?
Yeah, or when I'm like, is this my emotion? And instantly it's gone.
Yesterday, you asked me, I was feeling this, like, irritation. And I'm like, I'm so irritated. I have nothing to be irritated about. She's like, it's probably my emotion. And my body's like, yep. I'm like, oh, no. It was so strong. I'm like, get that away from me.
Yeah, it's crazy how much you can pick up other people's emotions and energy. So sometimes it's not even your own. So just... having that awareness and asking yourself, are these my emotions? Sometimes that's all it takes, and you just release it, and you're like, oh. Like, I've been full out bawling my eyes out, and it wasn't even my emotion, and the person the energy was from wasn't even within an hour of me. Okay, maybe within an hour away. Like, that's how much energy is potent.
And sometimes I feel like it's amplified. When you're feeling someone else's, I feel like sometimes it can be amplified. Mm-hmm. Though I'm not, what is it, the reflector that amplifies other people's feelings?
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm not a reflector. Though I think they're pretty cool.
Have you ever met one?
I don't know. Probably, just not really knowing it. Do we know anyone that's a reflector?
Just Jordan Younger. We don't know her.
That's true. We thought our dad was a reflector.
But thinking about it, I don't think so. He doesn't really reflect.
He doesn't have a reflective vest.
He doesn't have a reflection when he looks in the mirror.
He's not real.
Okay, so yeah, we talked about all that fun stuff.
A lot of personal updates.
Yeah.
Which I thought was nice because we don't always share everything about ourselves.
The only update we haven't given yet is David update. He's doing well, we think. We haven't talked to him.
I don't know how we can give a David update if we haven't even talked to him.
Yeah.
How they do that.
He still doesn't know. But we've been sharing a podcast.
Yes.
And we thank each and every one of you for listening. So
yeah, we really do appreciate it. I know we joke around that, like, don't share, but we really do appreciate every time that you do watch, and we hope that you're enjoying it. You can let us know. You can email us, raccoonsindastrology@gmail.com, or just send us some love.
Yeah.
We'll feel it.
I love the feedback.
Our hearts are open. Did I ever share that? My heart is open now? Because I think in the one episode, I think I said that my heart was definitely closed.
Her heart's open.
Yes.
Heart
We're going to
update.
share more about that in the next episode then.
Yeah.
This is a long enough intro.
Without further ado,
enjoy this episode. We haven't showered in 5 days, manifested anyway. Every day's a payday. Wait, what the fuck did Kris just say? Messy's in the hole, I bet. Come hang out with our furry friends. Courtney's gonna leave again. Are you triggered yet?
can't get it in the hole.
Did you know I'm recording?
I am just going to act as if always. We are going to talk about joking. Because the universe does not fucking understand it.
The universe likes to joke, though.
But the universe
so
does...
do spirit guides.
Okay, maybe it's sarcasm? Like making jokes that you don't actually want to happen. Like
house
house
fires. It only
fires.
recognizes what you're saying, like the words of what you're saying, not necessarily like the tone. It doesn't understand sarcasm.
Yeah, so I previously, as in the last week and a half, joked about house fire. How many times do you remember?
Oh, I remember the first time was because you had paperwork you didn't want to do or something, and you're like, I don't know, you feel like it would be great to have a house fire right now.
So anyways, we did not have a house fire, but a small chimney fire.
Yes, on the day that I was the one who filled up the stove in the morning.
So it's her fault. She doesn't know how to start a fire.
It was still cold, so I just threw wood in there. I'm triggered.
So, just a little friendly reminder that the universe is always listening, and it does not necessarily know that you are joking.
We have a problem with sarcasm.
And doing accents.
And accents in certain phrases and words that we can't stop saying.
And it's dumb.
Really dumb.
Like, it's making us stupid.
But, so, since we have this problem with sarcasm, I think we catch ourselves saying things like, whoa, I don't actually want to call that in. But I also think there is repetition, right? If we're repetitive. Like, there's people that
The
they
5
joke
second
about
rule.
money. The 5 second rule. Pick it back up. People joke about money, like all those like cliches about money, like, oh, like people that just say them all the time. I don't even know. Like, money doesn't grow on trees. I don't know why that's the only one that comes to mind.
Probably because it's such a common phrase to hear through your childhood.
So, I don't remember our parents ever saying it. I think they had other ones. I feel like they never really said money doesn't grow on trees, but they definitely had like other ones. I don't know specifics. But if you, the universe does, it will answer if you're joking in a positive way. I have a situation that I joked about. I'm like, I just need this to happen. And I was like, ha 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 ha. And then it happened. But I didn't really realize it until after the fact. So, I'll tell you the story. Settle in, folks.
Get your popcorn.
Share, please. Do you have popcorn here?
Yeah, like popcorn kernels.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we've totally made popcorn. I prefer it homemade, like instead of the bag.
Yes, and I don't have a popcorn popper. I use a pot.
That's doable.
It's
very doable.
Me and Greg went through a phase where we were eating so much freaking popcorn, like every day, and I like to put like a whole pound of butter on it. I like it to be like greasy.
Oh, see, I've done it where it's like I don't put a whole lot on it, just like enough.
Popcorn
because
pot.
I was trying to be healthier. Anyways, back to my story. So was it last year? No. It was 2021.
It was yesterday.
It was 2 years ago, guys. It's 2023 now. So this is 2021. It wasn't even summer, late spring. So when I was here with Kristen in 2021, I was planning on moving to Newfoundland. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned that. and I was looking for houses to rent out there, and I was like, you know what? I just need to find someone who owns like $1 million home, or like a few $1 million home, few million, anyways, I can't say it. Someone who's rich and owns this property, and what? Who owns this property, and then they have this extra house that they just need someone to live in. They just need someone living there, and they're like totally okay renting it for free. I'm like, this is just what I need, just some millionaires, spare house. And then it literally happened. And that summer, I didn't really realize it because I went to Saskatchewan, and I have a aunt and uncle out there, and they live on a farm.
And I feel like it's different when it's your family. You don't necessarily look at it in the same context as...
Well, I didn't really think of it because it's not like they were sitting there with $1 million in their bank account, but their property, like they're selling their farm. It's a big ranch, like there's so much property, and it's like several $1 million worth. And I was living in their spare house, and they're like, okay, we'll live here for now, and then like if I'm still there like the next month or whatever, then we talk about rent.
Wasn't it me who made you realize that is literally what you asked for?
I'm not sure.
I feel like we were talking, and like you literally said this is what you wanted.
I'm not sure.
You can check your journals.
I'll be like, Kristen was wrong.
She doesn't know shit from putty.
So yeah, I realized that I had manifested. I mean, it wasn't what I was expecting, because I was expecting it on the coast, but it ended up being in the prairies, which was. But I mean, it was still worked out perfect. It was beautiful, and I absolutely loved it. So it's funny how the universe and I had no resistance to that because I was like, I just need this, haha, move on.
Yeah,
I didn't really even think of it.
The funny thing with when you're joking. You don't hold on to it, whereas if you sometimes setting that intention and making those goals, it's hard to release that and trust that the universe is going to bring you that which you desire.
Yeah, because if you really want it, you're really you're clinging to that sometimes a little bit too desperately, but
you're choking the life out of it.
Yes, let it breathe.
Give the universe space to deliver what you are asking for, and be open to receiving it, and open to it looking a little different than what you had planned, because the universe will present you with the best situation that is for your highest and best.
And oftentimes people say it's better than you can even imagine. So you can imagine the best dream life you can think of, and the universe is like, no, that's nothing compared to what I have in store for you. But if you're not open to it, if you're forcing yourself to go in this one direction, you might miss out on this other life.
And that's another thing too, is not listening to, as some people call it, like the whispers of your soul, the little intuition hits that you get, that you are so focused on your end goal looking like this, and the how and the why, and having all that figured out, that you might miss the different steps that could have led you there quicker.
Yeah, my quote for the year, I've decided, is slow down to speed up.
I love that.
I know, it always it's so hard for me, because I'm always like, oh, I gotta do all this, I have to do it all right away, and I want to experience and do all these things, and I always think that I'm falling behind or I'm missing out on them, and it's like, no, I can literally just, and if I'm too busy trying to do all these things, I'm missing out on what's in front of me, and I'm missing out on the path that's literally meant for me, because I'm too busy doing comparing myself. So you're doing something, I'm like, oh my god, I want to do that, and the universe is like, no, this is your path, but I'm busy over here. So my word of the year is center.
I want to go back to the slow down to speed up just for 1 second.
Okay.
I feel like that's literally the perfect analogy for when has speeding ever actually got you there? In time. It doesn't really speed up.
Yes.
Maybe a couple minutes, and the whole time you're watching for cops. You're checking your mirrors. You're looking at your speedometer.
Adrenaline.
You're tense, and you're not enjoying the present moment. You're not enjoying the music. You're not enjoying the conversation in the car with you. You're just so far gone.
So far gone. I remember from my old place to your house here, I would try speeding to get here faster, because it's such a long drive, a whole hour and a half. Oh my god. And it was, I don't know, if I was speeding or if I was taking it slow, it'd always be the exact same amount of time. I'm like, it doesn't matter. So I stopped trying, and then
there's a glitch in the simulation.
There is. There's something about this place. But yeah, my word of the year is center. Did you come to your
aligned?
Okay. Because she was having a bit of difficulty coming up with the right word.
Because for me, I feel like it's gonna be a very action-oriented year where a lot of things are coming together, and actually long goals I've had for a long time are actually going to be achieved.
But you were like creating this momentum, you were really moving forward, and it's like, it's not even like the physical has shown the proof of it yet, but it's like, I feel it in your energy, like it's there, and you're like, you've done the work that you were like, you've made the decision.
I'm fucking ready.
I am ready. Decision. And that's sometimes like the hardest part is like making the decision and committing to that, and it's like once you do, it's like, whew, I'm getting chills. Yeah, so many chills this episode. Yeah,
even setting intention is so powerful. It's just like affirming to the universe, this is what I'm calling in. Yeah. Maybe it's just intention in the morning when you wake up. This is how I'm starting my day. I'm gonna have a wonderful day filled with love and abundance, and see gratitude all around me, and setting that intention is so powerful, and I think it's overlooked a lot.
Yeah.
So
I also feel, sorry, you go ahead.
No, I was gonna dive into how 2023 has been for us already.
Let's do that.
Okay, so 2023 has already been so expansive for us. Is that the right term?
I would say expansive, but it's funny because I would say it's been expansive for both of us, but in very different ways.
100%.
Mine has been very void-like. I feel like I want to say that I am officially out of the void.
Woo! She's out of the void!
Break good times. Come on. I don't know how to explain that other than I got to like this point where I had this realization, and then once I had that, it was like, oh, okay. And now I feel like I can finally like move on from that. I don't really know how to explain it. I don't want to get too far into it.
We are still in our women's leadership group, and it is just so amazing the networking that goes on in even a small group. Like, we're just a small group of women, and we had it was our first meeting of the new year yesterday morning, and we shared our vision boards that we made at the end of 2022, and I shared about the book I was going to be publishing and about wanting to take an energy healing course. Lo and behold, there's a new woman in the group who has connections with both a publisher and energy healing. So it was just really cool how networking and like becoming a part of the community is so amazing. I've just never experienced it, and even for you had an experience where someone
I don't know, mine doesn't probably seem as exciting, but meanwhile I'm like, I'm trying not to cry.
I know, I said, how hard are you trying not to jump up and down right now?
So as per like my money issues, I haven't been able to go do the surfing that I wanted to here, because you can surf the Great Lakes, and I feel like it has really stopped me from going to do all that around here, like renting the wetsuit and the surfboard, finding the community. Sometimes it seems that there's more on like Lake Ontario or like Lake Superior, but we're closer to Lake Huron. So anyways, there was a lot of obstacles, and I was sharing my vision board. There's a lot of different surfing. I want to travel the world, and I want to surf on these amazing places, go to surfing retreats, and I would love to like be a part of a surfing retreat to empower women. And then I'm like, oh, and this little picture, this is surfing the Great Lakes, which I still haven't done yet. And one of the girls pipes up. She's like, my brother runs one of the places up here, and he'd probably take you with him. I'm like, stop it. Like,
and he has 10 boards, and he would let you use a board. And her sister has a wetsuit that you could wear. A wetsuit that you're roughly the same size that you could borrow because she never goes out.
So it seemed, I I don't know, like a lot of my opportunities come through other people as for my human design, and it was just like, it was such a weird time for me because I felt like I've been wanting it for so long, and then I don't know, I stopped after all this like void experience. Like it was still a desire. It's not like I didn't want it anymore, and I don't know if there was like an actual shift in me, like, oh, I'm just gonna leave. I wasn't consciously like, I'm not gonna focus on this right now. I was just more focused on my inner world. I think that was the main thing. I was focused on feeling good where I am, and not focused on getting the things that I wanted. That's been my main focus, and I think that's why I picked center as my word of the year, because every time I say it or I think of it, it reminds me to come home to myself, and just to, like, that's where everything I need is. That's where my happiness comes from. Like, I don't have to rely on these other things. And I think all the shift with the inner work that I've been doing perhaps had an effect on that.
I don't know, I feel like there's a large energetic shift this year, like, for the collective. Here we go with another collective reading, just kidding. But I don't know, I just feel like coming into this year, it's been so,
I like that it happened to us both in the same meeting. Like, we both just had, like, oh, like, it was so wonderful.
And I feel like also we've been giving ourselves so much permission to have fun and to play. And last night we had a paint night, and I don't know, I have so much more confidence this year. Maybe, okay, I've been building my confidence, but my best friend Amanda, I know I've talked about her before, we love her. We love you, Amanda.
We know you're listening.
And she has a beer that I'm pretty sure she wrote the recipe for.
Oh, really?
And it's for International Women's Day. And she's the lead brewer, whatever. She's amazing. And she paid for an artist to make a label. This label was horrible, and I don't want to shit talk this artist on here, so I'm not going to say much more, but I was like, I don't know, this could be the last year that this, beer is brewed, so I wanted her to have the label of her dreams. So she wanted 2 girls on 2 horses looking really free. For 3 days, 3 full days, I sat on the living room floor in behind my desk. It has like a small desk area with 2 stools, but then on the other side there's like a gap, and then I'm
like covers and stuff.
So it's like a little nook, and it's behind the couch, and I'm just down there on the floor, all like boxed in, and I saged the space. I put candles out,
your brushes,
because I kept fucking it up. I never was good at art class in school. In high school, I hated art. I was so terrible. I was terrible in all art classes. I just never thought I had artistic abilities. But I taught myself to paint, and I had the confidence to tell Amanda that I was going to present her with a label. It did not turn out exactly how I wanted. And
it was so good, though.
It was a little stressful.
I know, but I knew you could do it. And, like, you're just so good. I don't know. I had so much faith in you. I'm like, you can totally do this.
So I hope that everyone else is feeling the energetic shift like I am. I hope people are feeling, like, stepping into their power and
just the fact that
being
you're, like,
confident.
I have something that would be on the same level as someone else's artwork.
Someone who has an art studio and gets paid for their artwork. And even Mom, last time I was talking to her, she's like, I really think you should be selling your art.
You and Greg both.
If anyone wants to buy some art, please email us at raccoonsandastrology@gmail.com, and I will send you some examples.
She can do some commissions. Where they tell you what they want and you paint it for them.
Okay, but I'm not, like, doing portraits.
Can you paint me?
Can you paint me like one of your French girls?
I was not going to say that, but that went through my mind. I have to say, I do feel, like, really weirdly vulnerable about sharing about my surfing thing, because I feel like it's such a, I don't know why, it's such a weird thing for me, because, like, it's such a strong passion for something I've only done for a very short amount of time. Like, it's been so long since I've even done it, and I'm like, why am I so obsessed with it? So I feel very bummed, like, it's all I want. But I want to do fun things with it. It's
but you've
not like
always been a fish. A flying fish.
I've been a flying fish. It's true.
I've been a flying shit.
I've always... What shit you can wet. Anyways. I've always enjoyed being in water. I always feel really good. And I don't know. I think it's not so much, I want to get good at it for the sake of being good at it, but I think there's so many things you can do with that. Like when someone gets on the board for the first time or they stand on it for the first time.
Yeah, when they actually get to ride a bit of the wave before falling off.
Like the amount of
it's
joy.
So
like
amazing.
There's this one surf retreat that like once a year, I don't know if they still do it, but they were helping survivors of human trafficking, and like that's a cause that I've been really passionate about, and I'm like, how amazing would that be to get involved in something like that? So it's really like opening my eyes to like, how can I use this passion in a way to serve others? And it always comes back to empowerment for me. It always has. It's always been like my why for that, even though like I haven't really figured everything out yet, but everything is leading me to exactly where I'm supposed to be.
Do you think anyone reaches the end of their life and it's like, yeah, I figured everything out?
No.
It's unrealistic.
Yeah. Because there's so many things that you don't know for sure. Like there's the talk about truth and what is truth. Like,
yeah.
You have all the experts, but and I think I was listening to a podcast and they're saying I'm not here to tell you the truth. I'm here to tell you a way of thinking or a belief system. So it's like, it was a scientific thing, but he was like, someone else equally as like trained or smart as me doesn't believe that, they believe this. So like, who am I to say that they're right or that I'm right and they're wrong?
We're talking about germ theory and terrain theory.
No, I'm actually talking about rapid resolution therapy.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, he was talking about that. I thought it was really interesting because he's saying like, this isn't necessarily the truth because it can always, science is always learning new things, but it's a way of thinking. This is what he believes, and he's sharing that. And if you want to believe that, you totally can.
Bill Nye, the science lie.
The science lie. I believe in Bob Ross.
Yes, we do. We fully do.
Yes, he's the shit. Anyways.
Did you want to bring up anything?
I do have a topic, but I feel like it's quite long. I might save it for the next one.
Okay. So I do have a couple more notes. Look at me.
I know.
Podcaster.
We both came to this podcast with ideas.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen very often.
It's because it's 2023. It's going to be off the hook.
What is that from?
Grime.
Oh, right! Yeah.
You always forget that. I usually do too. I think I only remembered because I did that probably a week ago.
Oh my god.
So I feel like a lot of our topic has been about manifestation, so may as well just keep it going.
I like it.
Feeling emotion. So when you're going through something where have all these intense emotions coming up and you're crying and releasing, you are not pushing away your manifestations. You're pulling them closer. I feel like avoiding and blocking your emotions is what pushes away your manifestations.
I totally agree. I do believe there is a difference in like releasing and expressing your emotions and fully letting them take over. And like I had a coach. She's like, "Are you indulging your emotions?" Like I was like crying all the time. It was something different, but I was like, "Oh, there's definitely been times where I've indulged it." Should I give my analogy? Okay. Do you want me to do that right now?
I don't care.
Okay. So
Okay.
So basically, how many episodes are we going to talk about the untethered soul? Because I think I mentioned it a lot.
Probably everyone for the rest of our existence. Either that or manifestation.
Until we're either rich or dead.
Oh, one of life's dilemmas. That is one of my journal entries from 2000.
It was 2011?
No.
I don't know. There was
No, it was 2000. Oh, maybe. Oh shit, maybe. I guess, yeah. I was going through my journals and I had one entry where I said, why can't I just be rich or dead? What a life's dilemmas, I guess.
It's so funny.
And then
now
I
we
think,
keep saying it.
what was the other one I said about being a crack whore?
All I'll ever be or something is like a crack whore on the side of the road that doesn't smoke crack.
Yeah, I don't think that's what I said, but it was along the lines of basically
like
saying maybe I don't know. Sorry guys.
Like what you're good for?
All I'm good for is crack. Butt crack.
Anyway, this is taking a turn.
Sorry, back to manifestation.
Yes. Okay. But she's all good now, guys.
I never did smoke crack.
I know. Sorry. Maybe you should try. I'm just kidding.
No. We could have Greg on and ask him about it.
Okay. We'll add that to the list of questions to ask him about.
Have you ever?
What was your experience like when you smoked crack? Right now he's gonna know because he listens.
And also, I will not divulge if he has or hasn't. We could be
I
joking.
thought you said he did. What? Didn't you just say he did?
I might have been joking.
Okay, well, I don't even know then. So, anyways, my analogy of emotions and what I learned from the Untethered Soul. So the Untethered Soul talks a lot about like gaining awareness and recognizing that you're not your thoughts. So I was lying in bed one night, not sleeping, and like this was running through my mind. I'm like, this is great. So
This is great!
it's fantastic. Well, I thought about like I think you were still up. I thought about getting up and like coming to you and like telling you this, but I'm like, I need to go to bed. This is silly. So I told you the next morning.
Is that Sorry, guys.
No, it's fine. Anyway, so imagine you're in this canoe. You're canoeing on this river. The canoe represents your thoughts, and the water, the river, represents your emotions. So you're just canoeing away, you're cruising along, everything's good, and then you start to get into some rapids. It starts getting a little rough. And then up ahead, you realize that there's a waterfall. And this is when you recognize that you have two options. So the first option is you can...
And the waterfall's like you're going to go over the waterfall. At
Yeah,
first I was like, oh, what's wrong with seeing the waterfall?
Oh,
That's
I
amazing.
see.
Did
Like
you go
you're on
under
the
the
river.
waterfall? Did you go have a bath? Like,
you get on the Maid of the Mist. So, yeah, you have these options. The first one is you can let the canoe take you over this edge. So that means you can let your... So let's say something happens in your life and it's kind of... There's a challenge in your life. It's hard. You're worried. Maybe you're frustrated, angry, sad, whatever. And then you can let your thoughts take you into those emotions. Like, take your emotions over this edge and, like... have you ever had a thought where you have a thought that instantly your body's full of this like heavy emotion? It's like so it's
or
like
I've had my thoughts like keep having the same thoughts
and it gets
and
like,
then it's just slowly exacerbating
Yeah.
the emotion and making it that much more intense.
yeah, exactly. So it's like you're letting that thought take over. You're letting your thoughts take the lead
Of that canoe.
of that canoe. And literally just carry you right over this edge. Or you have this option to pull off to the side or row off to the side and get out of the boat. And you're literally just taking a step back and be like, okay, these are I see the thoughts, I see the emotions, but I am not them.
Yeah, you are not the canoe, and you are not
You're not the river.
water, actually, but you are because we are all one and we are all everything.
Not
and
my
everything.
analogy. You're
And
just
also,
skinny.
I added a little tidbit to that.
I'm not done.
Oh, sorry, are you adding that in? Okay, sorry.
No, I'll let you add that part in, but I don't even remember what it was.
Anyways.
Anyways.
You're gonna pretend it's yours.
No, I was going to say, no, I don't remember. So the thoughts are still there, the emotions are still there, the emotions are still flowing. Like the water's still flowing over that waterfall. You've just gotten off of it. So you're not, like, you're letting the emotions still flow, you're not blocking them. But you're also not, riding that wave of emotion. You've gotten off, like, oh, okay. And your thoughts kind of calm down because they're not in the rapids anymore. So you've gotten out of the boat. and you just like have that awareness. You're still processing the emotions, like they're still flowing, but I don't know. Does that make sense the way I explained it this time?
And I think this is what I added to it is another thing too. When you're canoeing, you can, I don't remember really what it was. Frantically. No, that was not it.
I don't remember.
It was something along the lines of you can be in the awareness and watching the scenery or something. I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh, awareness. You can steer the boat. Wait, no, that's dumb.
That still works, yeah, because you can change your thoughts.
Yeah, but I feel like that's not what I added, so...
It's not, but it's fine.
It's fine. Whatever I added was obviously a lie, because I forget. If you forget, it's a lie.
So, with this analogy, I've learned, so when I was experiencing some emotion, like, I would have a thought, and this emotion would come up, and then, I had another thought come up right after, and I'm like, whoa, I know this is going to take me right over the edge. So
this is going to flip my fucking canoe.
Right? I'm going to go down. Like, take the portage.
Oh, yeah, the portage.
So, yeah, I feel like it really helped me to kind of put it into perspective. I feel like there's so many different ways to explain that you're not your thoughts. But I really
sometimes
like
I like that one too, and I feel like it's an easy visual.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of ones that I hear or read are kind of more challenging to visualize for me, and I don't know. I get two in my head when I'm trying to visualize because I'm like, I don't know.
I have another one actually when I want to center and gain more awareness. I have another one that I got from reading that book. What do you visualize when you're like, oh, I want to remember, like, I'm not my thoughts? Like, what do you visualize? Now it'll be a canoe on the river.
I think I just go into I drop in my heart space. And then I just...
Oh, so you're not necessarily visualizing, you're just dropping into your body.
Yeah.
I still visualize because, I don't know, it just seems to help. But I will visualize my awareness is like outer space. And then my thoughts and my emotions are two separate planets spinning around. Yes, they are round. So I'll just like step back into like, I'll just be the ethers. And my thoughts are like spinning around, my emotions are spinning around. And I'm like, carry on, I'll just be over here.
You be cuckoo by yourself.
Exactly.
And then I think the last thing I really wanted to touch on is, or that we were talking about yesterday, guys, we're always talking, and then we always have to just sit in silence because we don't want to use our good conversation while not podcasting.
Because we have this problem.
And I said it to Jody today because I told her that we want to interview her.
Yeah.
And then we were talking, and I'm just like, oh, we should be talking about this on the podcast. And she was like, we should be. And I'm like, oh my God.
We won't be able to have any conversations with anyone unless they're about the weather. But we had this problem. If we talk a subject out, we don't want to go back to it because we're like, I already said what I want to say. I'm satisfied. I can't.
And it doesn't seem
I can't talk about it again.
It's not, like,
you don't have the new thoughts. I don't know.
Then we can't just like authentically bounce it off of each other the way we normally do. It's like more. It feels more.
It's harder.
Like scripted. It almost feels scripted, even though it's not. It just feels that way because
if we're like, I said this before, and I'm gonna say this again.
I don't know. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
But what we were talking about, needing physical proof and evidence.
Yes. Oh, this one's so good. How did we get on that topic? Oh, I think I don't know.
Why?
Because I was like, I want to trust my intuition when I ask it a question.
Yeah.
And I get a strong answer, and I'm like, okay, well now I need physical proof in order to really believe you. And I'm like, well, why do we need that? And I'm thinking, all the way through school, we're taught to show your work. Like, how did you get to that answer? Or like, we need scientific evidence or
hypotheses.
Yeah, so Mother wants his food.
I knew that was going to happen, so let's finish this discussion and then...
Okay. Call it a day. Yeah, did you have anything else to add to that one?
Yeah, just trust your body. And when you trust your body and listen to your intuition, like, you can if you know what a yes feels like in your body, like maybe I feel like for most people it's going to be the same. You feel light, you feel expansive, you feel...
I think it also depends.
You build that muscle though when you learn. You even just try with small things, trusting your intuition and your body's guidance, because your body will know the answer. And
it always knows.
Your body always knows, and it never forgets.
Like an elephant.
What?
Elephants never forget. You've never heard that before?
No. Are they scared of mice also?
I've heard of that too.
I feel like someone explained to me when I was volunteering for elephants. With elephants,
down.
Not for the elephants, with the elephants. I guess for them. Whatever. Redundant.
What I was gonna say is that sometimes we hear an answer that we don't like. So it's not always gonna be expansive. It can be hard to accept. It can be super challenging. Like, I've had multiple times where I've asked a question, even though I think, like, if you're asking the question, you probably already know the answer. But
yeah, sometimes, yeah. I have a prime example. I knew when painting the two girls on the two horses that the white shirt was gonna make the one girl blend into the white horse. But I didn't care because I wanted her to be wearing a white shirt because I didn't want a bunch of colors. I wanted to... White is classy. I liked it. I looked at it. I seen two girls, two horses. Two girls, one dump. Just kidding. That's what we say when we go to the dump. Long story. Not long story. Just dump. And so anyways, it was a whole big cahoodle. Is that a word?
Cahoodle.
Better than piddle fart.
I was thinking that one. We're gonna do an experiment. We could do it on a podcast where we try to read each other's minds.
We did that yesterday. Just as an example. It was...
Well, I think that one was easy because it's something that we always say anyways.
Yeah, but what are the chances? I don't even remember what it was now. SpongeBob. Have you even shared that video?
No, I haven't.
Oh my god.
It's because I have to edit it, but some of the videos I deleted on my phone, so I have to re-download them and then add it and then edit it again. I don't have the patience.
We need to hire somebody
to edit this blooper video that's 3 minutes long.
And it's just hilarious.
I don't know. Do we think it's hilarious, but it's not?
Who cares?
That's true. I still think it's
We have
funny.
laughed so much this week.
We have.
Like at the dumbest, funniest things. It's been great. We're doing well this year. And we hope that you are too.
And yeah, even if you're not, remember it's only January 12th as we're recording this.
And I'm doing a dry January and I'm loving it. I feel so good. So good.
What I learned about alcohol, I was still drinking, not that I don't ever drink, because I do every now and then, but I was still kind of drinking a bit on and off there. But you had sent me a video how it actually like pokes holes in your aura, and I'm like, yes, that's like the perfect way to describe how you feel when you're like hungover. Yeah, it's gross. I don't like it. So now every time I drink, I'm like, my poor aura. I'm like, I don't know if I can do that.
Yeah, and your soul does not like it, and it will like.
Oh yeah.
It will
disassociate.
Yeah, it will like kind of leave room for other entities and spirits to enter your body. That's why some people who are completely different when they get drunk on whiskey, because that's really not them. It's a ghoul, a goblin.
It's a troll.
It's a piddlefot.
Alright, I think we're done.
Thank you for listening.
If you want to support us, you can buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/triggerpod. We had our very first donation.
Yes.
Which we're very, very grateful for. And, or you can just like, subscribe, share with your friends, comment. Yeah.
I'd like to see some comments and likes, I suppose. Comments are fun.
Yeah. Yeah, let us know what you think. If there's something that you want us to talk about, let us know. We
If
would
you
love
guys
to
are-
get into it.
Yeah, and if
You
you're
can email us, raccoonsandastrology@gmail.com.
and if you're
we check it at
tired
least
of hearing
once a
Miller whine in the background, let us know.
Or chew on bones. He's either whining or chewing on a bone.
Oh, quick messy update. I don't really have one, but it's Miles today, so I'm hoping that I get to hang out with her, which I'm probably gonna go see if she's around. Because sometimes she comes out really earlier in the evening, and then I kind of miss my chance to spend time with her. She likes to play hard to get.
She does. She likes to do that with Bear Bear too.
Yeah.
Well, while you do that, I'm probably gonna do yoga and then take a bath because I've been craving a bath.
Awesome. So that's what we're doing tonight. I'm going to hang out with my raccoon.
I'm gonna hang out with the tub.
Hang out with your wearing out.